The 11th of April, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos, Pesach.
Thank you, Lou. As we mentioned, this is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here. She had some Menafshi here in Yerushalayim to Zoom, and we are currently learning the Godesh of Pesach. Because it's going to be on your screen. Hashem, okay. Zoom. Okay. All right, let's see, we left off.
I think we were on page 7.
Yeah.
Russia, the wicked son.
Right. Very good. Okay.
Ma,
Let's begin. Go ahead.
ma ha'avodah hazot lachem. What is this service to you? Lachem, to you. Below low, and not to him. Ulefi shehotzi es atzmo min haklal kafar beikar. Ulefi, and through this, he takes himself out of the congregation. What is kafar?
Code for that, he's denying, he's code for be'ikr, he's denying one of the principles.
Denying the principles. Let me just adjust my screen here for a second.
That's, on this point, we have to
I'm sorry, we have to what?
think about that, that this point over here, that he says kol for be'ikr. I mean, because he was yotzi min klal. You have to think for a moment, how is that kol for be'ikr?
Right. Because he's excluding himself. He's saying this doesn't have meaning to me. That does not necessarily mean he's denying.
Yeah, I mean, see, yeah, but in a certain way, I mean, he's this is something that's relevant to you. It's not relevant to me, right? So, the way I approach this is we have to understand that the 1 second, who's this? 1 second. Someone is here. Okay. Oh, good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm late. I'm having all these troubles with computers, with doctors. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so
With a whole heart.
I see you changed your name. I didn't recognize your name was. And
well, that's another issue. My computer is broken. I'm using my wife's computer now, and hopefully, I don't know when, but hopefully I'll be able to get another computer soon. So, okay, so we're on
Page 7.
page 7, Russia.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a different Haggadah. Oh,
We're discussing the question. It says he separates himself from the congregation, and he denies the basic principles.
oh,
And the question is, why does it say he's denying the basic principles? couldn't he separate himself from the congregation without denying?
That's a good question. Huh.
Right, that's the question here, right? I mean, so, I mean, feeling and understanding the necessity of being connected to Klal Yisrael, I think is very important. Not too many people realize this, that it's not simply the the being Jewish, but it's also a point of understanding that Klal Yisrael, that we're all part of the same entity. If the person's going to divorce himself from the entity of Klal Yisrael, so that's something which is very serious in terms of his understanding of what's required of him, what Hashem requires of him, and what his individual and collective destiny is, right? So that could be what they're indicating here. The Kofar Baker is that he doesn't feel an association with Klal Yisrael. He's an individual, feels aloof and unconcerned about his association with other Jews. That's pretty pretty sad. Doesn't realize that. Um,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about my own background. When I was growing up, I considered myself to be Jewish. So I wasn't denying that. But there was no Torah content in my life.
Mhm.
So I could see myself saying, what is this nonsense? You know, what is this Haggadah stuff? But that doesn't mean I'm denying anything. I'm just ignorant.
Right. So that might be different. I mean, if there's an issue of ignorance here, maybe there might be certain considerations for ignorance, what the people call tinglik shenishba, right?
Right.
That may be different.
It wouldn't seem that fits into this anywhere into these four categories.
Right. Like we see again, we have to realize when this was when the Haggadah was composed and written, and there was no Jew that didn't know about the basics of being Jewish, right? There were no Tinnik Shenishbas. I mean, it was not a situation where you had people not knowing their religious obligations, and if a person was going to decide to renege on that, then he was taking a very serious and intentional step away from Klal Yisrael, right?
Right.
So, before all completely, for the most part, I mean, they had certain sects. They had for this, like the Karaites and uh, others through the history of Klal Yisrael that divorced themselves from Klal Yisrael. Um, but but only up until about 200 years ago, with the advent of reform and other groups that formally divorced themselves from Torah Judaism. There was no such thing. I mean, everyone understood the basics. Everyone was brought up religious. Again, it was always a personal choice. Kadosh Baruch was not interested in robots, but the Klal Yisrael always had and demanded of its members to be part of the group. Coming to davening and learning and involving doing chesed and things like this. Right, all these things were taken for granted in basic and standard behavior. Right, so a person in those times, if he would divorce himself from that, so he said he's taking a very strong and intentional step away from the general population of Klal Yisrael.
So in other words, anyone who is not ignorant, he knows about the Torah, he knows about the background of the Jewish people and the significance of Yetzias Mitzrayim. And then he says, what is this service to you? Then he's denying the basic principles.
Apparently, I mean, again, we have to try and understand what's his question. I mean, from what aspect of intention is this question based upon? We have to try and understand where. I mean, these are all these four sons, as we said at the very beginning. These are all based on if you go back to page 6, right? We said the bottom of page 6, Baruch HaMakom Baruch Hu, Baruch HaMshanas and Torah L'Mo Yisrael Baruch Hu, Keneged Arba Banim Dibra Torah. The Torah, right, speaks in terms of 4 specific banim, right? So, I mean, this is the Torah is telling us there's a Metzias like this, right? So obviously, there's a Metzias where a person who he's asking this question, but from the intention and the content of his question, you understand that he's not interested in participating. The question is, well, so if he's not interested in participating, so what's the basis of his question, right?
Right.
That I'm still trying to figure out. I'm not sure what's the basis of his question. Why is he, why isn't he out just he's not down there playing pool, but he's not in the beer hall, right? He's obviously with you asking these questions.
Right. If you don't want to participate, why are you participating?
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I don't really know. Okay, it needs a little bit of work for this. Okay, we'll have to see.
Unless you want to say he's an epicurus. In other words, bedavka, he's denying, he's anti-religious. He wants to come and disrupt the Seder and say, what is this nonsense?
Possibly.
Because we're calling him a Rasha. That's pretty strong language.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it needs a little bit more work. I'm not happy with my full understanding of this yet. Okay, well, let's go on in the meantime. And, these things we have to just try and think about it and try and clarify it as time goes on, Mitzvah Shem.
Okay, the af atah hak hey es she nav ve'em more low. So even you should, hak hey is what, to strike?
Literally like means to blunt his teeth.
Blunt his teeth and say to him, you see, blunt. Ba'avor zeh asa Hashem li b'tzesi mi Mitzrayim. Because of this, Hashem did for me in taking me out of Mitzrayim. Li, lo, me and not you, not him. Ilu haya sham, if he were there, lo haya nig'al, he would not have been redeemed. Okay, comment?
Yeah, well, so first of all, how are we answering his question? We don't really, it's hard to understand the answer because I don't really understand the question, right?
Well, we understand that by the question, we're saying that he's excluding himself. So Mita Keneged Mita, we're answering him by excluding him. We're saying, yeah, you're right. You have nothing to do with this because you wouldn't even have been redeemed if you were there. It's for me.
Right. Yeah, so Hashem did these things for me. I'm doing that. You want to know why I'm doing these things and you're not doing these things? I'm doing these things because Hashem brought me out of Mitzrayim. But for you, you're not doing these things because why? Had you been there, you wouldn't have been taken out.
You're in one of the 80%.
Correct. That's right. That's right. I just wanted to look something up here if I can find it. One second. Oh, I think we found it. Okay, let's see the comments on the side in the meantime.
Im yir'eh ki nafsho noteh lis avos haraos v'lirakof ula read oaf achar haosher. let's see. If he fears for his soul, I don't know, no te lisavos, I don't know.
So it says, what's this going? Russia. So im yiraki nafsho nota litzavos harois. A person should realize, right? Im yiraki nafsho, he's not meaning himself. He is noite, he's inclined, the tivus haros to detrimental desires. Right? That's tivus desires, rods, evil, or like I like to say, detrimental desires.
Oh, Tivus is detrimental, I see. And Tavos is desires.
Right.
Ule Radof Achar Haosher. And he runs after wealth.
Yes.
Ule Taos Ha Nashim. And he runs after women.
That's right.
Viha Vatsa Viha Gadal.
But that's Gezel, but that's a Zion there. That's
A gezel, theft. And what is ha batza?
Betze he's like greedy.
Okay, so he's inclined to follow his evil desires, and he runs after wealth and women, and he's greedy and he's a thief. V'hat ta'anogim. What is ta'anogim?
Those are Tanag is those things which are entertaining or enticing.
Right.
Yoter me'asher haya nota la'avodas hakel. Let's see. More from what he takes to serve Hashem.
Yeah, more meaning he finds himself. Meaning this comment is giving you an insight into what a Russia is. A Russia is someone who he finds himself more involved with lusts and desires and desire for money and greed. He's theft and is interested in entertainment and he's more inclined to all these kinds of activities more than he's inclined towards serving Kadosh Baruch Hu.
I see. More than that, he's inclined to serve Hashem. The litefila uletzedakah uletzedakos maasim tovim. More than he's inclined to serve Hashem, to pray, to give tzedakah, and to do good deeds. Yada is to know.
He should know, right? That this is an indication. This is an indication. He should know.
He who Rasha v'chi hakel ein mikabel ma'asav. You should know that he is evil, and God will not accept his deeds.
Right. So if this might give us an insight into the intention of the question, and because here the definition we're being given here is, if a person he's not interested in, as he said, serving Hashem, tefillah, tzedakah, ma'asim tovim, but he's more interested in greedy things, pleasures, chasing after the pleasures in life, stealing. These things are things that interest him. So he's saying to you, what's this? What's this? All this stuff? I'm not interested in all this. This doesn't interest me at all. I'm interested in other things in life, right? I'm interested in all the pleasures that life can give me, not serving Hashem, not going to davening, not giving tzedakah. This avoda, what is this avoda that you're doing? You think there's something in it? What kind of pleasure is it in it for me, right?
Right.
So since he's coming from that point of view, he's Kofar Be'ikr. But in the memory, maybe you can understand a little better what's Kofar Be'ikr. Kofar Be'ikr, he doesn't understand the whole purpose of life. The whole purpose of life is to serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu, not simply to get as much pleasure out of this world that you can possibly get, right?
Right.
So that could be part of the Kofar, the Ikr, what he's dealing with here. That Kofar Be'ikr, he's missing the whole point in what life is about. And that could answer what's this mean? The very, very astounding statement of Ata Hake Es Shinov. You break his teeth. What do you mean you break his teeth? Right? So with this understanding, we can maybe clarify what it means, break his teeth. Break this guy's teeth. He's not going to enjoy steaks much anymore. He's not gonna chase women too much. He's gonna open up his mouth and give him a smile with his broken teeth, looking at him. Some Dracula guy looking at this girl. So that could be what the point is. You break his teeth. He's not gonna enjoy this life much more anymore. Maybe he'll come to his senses. As long as this person off the beam and off the derech, and he's getting the pleasures he wants from this world, this person's in a bad situation. There's very little hope for this person. So you do him a favor and break a few of his teeth, and it's not so easy for him to enjoy life anymore. And that might wake him up. Maybe. Could be.
But he's your son.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
you don't really want to ruin his life. You
No,
want,
but you,
want to Bacardi.
well, yeah, you don't want, true, you don't want to ruin his life, but you want him to live a life that's productive. That he's going to be somehow being successful in fulfilling the purpose of life, meaning serving Kadosh Baruch Hu.
My understanding of break his teeth was more of a confrontational approach, that don't pander to him. Don't say, oh, it's okay. You're a good kid. But tell him outright, you're going in the wrong direction. So that you confront him, and you're hoping that he'll feel like he's doing the wrong thing.
Right. No, true. I understand, but it with a more literal understanding of what's going on here, right?
But I don't think anybody interprets it to say literally you're going to punch him in the mouth.
There are those that explain it that way. There are those that learn more literally. We could have given a lot different explanations than that,
Right.
Could have. But okay, something.
I mean, if you punch him in the mouth so hard that you knock out teeth, he ain't coming back.
Again, like he's already kofar be'ikr at this point in any event, right?
So you're giving up on him.
Well, you're trying, you're doing with it, trying to deal with it in a drastic situation,
So in which case, you should just say, get out of my house. What's the point of punching him in the mouth?
Well, that might bring him about. I mean, apparently there's very little else you can do. Apparently.
Yeah. I don't know. This
Yes.
is difficult for me to understand.
Yeah, no, it takes a little bit more takes a little bit more understanding about this. Yeah, needs to be understood. Yeah. Okay, let's continue on. Let's see the time, or let's see. Yeah, maybe we'll do one more, then we'll switch to halakha in a few minutes.
Okay, it's very late.
Okay, you want to switch to halakha? We can switch
Well,
to
actually,
halakha.
no, I'm sorry. We're on the 9:30 schedule. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to do two things, we've got 20 minutes left.
Yes. Okay. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe we should switch.
Okay. Very good. Let's take a few minutes break, and we'll start with the halakhas in a few minutes. Then. Okay. We're leaving off by the time. Okay.
Okay, I got my. All right, see you in a few minutes.
Very good.
Okay.
Good. Very good.
Ah.